I love to talk about the idea of metrics analysis action. Like a doctor, like we should be more like emergency room doctors where the patient comes in and instead of us prescribing, because prescription before diagnosis is malpractice, we want to be able to analyze their situation. And then, if they have a car accident or a gunshot wound or whatever the issue is, then we can make a diagnosis and then a treatment plan.
Oh, you do have office hours.
Yes. Well, it's just you and me. Some other folks, people can drop in whenever they want to drop in. I thought I would cover the process of doing an audit.
You playing the music.
Do what?
It's you playing the music.
Am I? What music am I playing?
Oh, maybe I am.
I think you must be.
You already find it.
That's you.
Oh.
You must have a window open or something. I think it's you. I don't think it's me.
Oh, YouTube TV. Kelly Clarkson singing.
Okay, great. She can sing. All right, I'm going to cover an audit. And this just came in, and I love to talk about the idea of metrics analysis action. Like a doctor, like we should be more like emergency room doctors where the patient comes in and instead of us prescribing, because prescription before diagnosis is malpractice, we want to be able to analyze their situation. And then, if they have a car accident or a gunshot wound or whatever the issue is, then we can make a diagnosis and then a treatment plan. So that's what we call metrics analysis action. And that's what we want to do to this doctor, which I think is ironically deliciously interesting. So this is one of Jack Went's friends, Clint. How do we say his name? Munch. And he wants to get more patients. And what orthopedic surgeons do is knee replacements, hip replacements, other joint replacements, arthroscopic surgery. And if I search, not this one, if I, Clinton, Munch, how do we spell his name? I wonder if people can spell his name. Muench. Muench. Okay. We see he has he does have a practice here and it's closed. Oh, gee, permanently closed. Well, that's not good. So I'm going to come here and create a note. I'm going to send it to Jack so he can pass it on to his friend. Because sometimes we uncover stuff that, .net, sorry. We uncover stuff that clients, got to have good bedside manners. HighRiseInfluence.net. Muench. His own practice. So with the doctor, we don't know whether he's doing it to his own practice. It's closed, but he's part of a larger hospital. If they're if they're operating their own practice or they're doing it, as a paid employee, part of a larger clinic, that's completely different because then his source of patients is going to be different. So this Northfield Hospital they got multiple locations. They have multiple specialists, primary care clinics, which he's not going to be, I don't think, because he's a specialist. But this site overall has a lot of power. But for this page for him, which really should be a site, should be a micro site, has no power, nothing's linking to it. And it only ranks on these 12 keywords. It's going to just be his name, Dr. Munch. See, I couldn't spell his name. No one else can spell his name. But I'm going to guess it's pronounced Dr. Munch because that's what other people are saying, Munch. And then Google isn't really sure because Google has to, when you misspell something or spell it differently, say, did you mean this? Because when I put in Clinton Munch, it said, do you mean Dr. Clinton Munch? Northfield Clinic. So they sort of know what that's about. So we know that's an issue. He can't spell his name, but at least they're looking for him. Probably maps and directions, probably because of referrals, because he has maybe some high profile athletes, because he does sports medicines. And then so coaches will refer or patients will talk, other athletes will talk about him. So he's at the Northfield Surgery Center. Okay. These are the things that he does, but there's no location service pages. This is just this is basically a business card. And it's the only thing that shows up. So this is an easy audit because on each service he performs. And he even says here, well, I'm not here just to do surgery. Sometimes it's therapy or an injection, individualized plan. I want to get people back to what they like to do. See, this philosophy of care, this is very much, I love it when doctors are more than just, pills and surgery, on to the next patient, next 5 minutes, because that's HMOs and these other guys kind of limit you to what pros and cons, this sort of thing. Okay, so there's almost nothing about him. Let's see. He also wants help on his personal brand. So Dr. Clint Munch. There's the one with the 2 reviews. Health Grades has 2 reviews, which is a medical patient review site. And he's also was part of this top doctors, Castle Connolly directory. I think you have to pay for some of these. Which insurances does he take? Okay. Well, at least it shows which insurances he takes. That's important. He's got a directory listing. He's got a medical. So with directories, there are general directories that are for everybody, and then there's specific directories. So he has a medical specific directory. See if it's paid. A lot of them are paid, which is sort of, if it's paid, it has higher power, but it usually means they don't pass any juice. Like attorneys do the same thing, super lawyers and these other ones, and does list what insurance he takes. So I'm going to guess he's more of an insurance. Most doctors are moving towards cash pay patients because they get squeezed. You probably have the same thing, David. It's probably not covered under insurance, so you need wealthy patients. This guy was summa cum laude. Wow. From University of Minnesota. Holy moly. There's nothing about that. Summa cum laude. Wow. Need more on that. Phi Kappa Phi. Okay. Notice when I paste, it changes the font. When people copy paste out of other things, they need to make sure that they keep the font here the same. See? So that way it doesn't look like a copy paste. All the time, people who don't understand copy paste, it's like a dead giveaway. They're being sloppy. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have on him? That's his site. Health News. This is also like a directory. Northfield. Okay, so he's affiliated with basically Northfield. So he doesn't have a private practice. He takes mainly insurance. So it's probably old people that want knee replacements, joint replacements. Oh, 21 reviews here. Oh no, these aren't these are the ones where people just click a button. It's not a real review. Okay. So Jack put together a whole plan, patient growth plan for Dr. Clint Munch. And you can tell right away that this is generated by AI. Sorry, Jack, if you see this later. How do I know? Because it's put the bullet points here, because it's bolded these key things. No one in regular email, like look at the way I'm typing my email, right? I'm citing examples and this, like the way they bold things, you can tell like it's AI, right? And then the way the language, this strategy aligns with Blitzmetrics' dollar a day and high-rise influence brand build. So you can tell what Jack said was, hey, AI, can you create a patient growth plan for Dr. Clint Munch using the dollar a day strategy and the high-rise influence blueprint? Why, sure. Patient growth plan for this. You can see like the output. You can kind of, you see how Dave, based on this output, you already see like the question, because the way the AI responds is it repeats back what you asked, right? This is what happens once you spent enough time. I've spent the last 2 years every day, hours a day, talking to these AIs, and now it's just like I recognize the voice.
So Dennis, what is wrong with letting it build this and sending it to the doctor? I mean,
What do
does
you
the
think?
doctor gonna know? And is this inferior?
Okay. Well, how about this? I've never seen anyone do this before. Watch this. Okay. Let's use the latest version of OpenAI that just came out a week ago, ChatGPT 4.5. Okay. So I want you to compare my manual analysis of Dr. Clint's practice with the AI generated plan. And what are the questions you ask? What was like, what's wrong?
He's got a proposal there for the
Yeah.
doctor. Is
Yeah,
it a
it's a good
plan?
proposal. It's actually good. Um, I don't want to like put words in the AI's mouth because then it'll try to like go the way I'm saying because it's always polite. It's like this butler. So actually, I'm not going to tell it. No, I want it to. Okay. I want you to compare okay. And I'll put it this way. I think using AI as a coworker to help process real details and real expertise is fantastic, but I also don't like mindless use of AI, which lacks the raw ingredients, right? That's the thing where the processing versus the ingredients, you understand those are different things, different stages, right? Like, is it hot dogs are garbage, right? But is it because of the quality of the meat or the nitrites? Or like it's both. I want quality ingredients and I want quality processing, right? Which lacks the raw ingredients of actual experiences and reflection of GCT, which is goals. We need to know what the goal is. So, different. Maybe this guy wants to retire. Maybe he wants to grow his practice. Maybe he wants to hire more people. Maybe he only wants to work one day a week and hire other orthopedic surgeons. Maybe he wants more referrals from car accident attorneys. And, what's his goal? Therefore, what content is he going to make? And therefore, what's the target, which is what we call GCT. Okay, I'm going to paste in my analysis. I'm going to paste in the AI generated plan. And there's nothing wrong with using AI, okay? It's just how you use the AI. It's always the user. It's not the AI. All right. You get garbage in, garbage out. It's the only good, don't blame the tool. It's always the user. And first, and then my analysis. And I think it's going to come back and say it's always polite because it doesn't want to argue. I think it's going to say, oh, you can combine them and you use both together because using AI and knowing what you're doing, like, you already know it's going to try to answer like that, right? So I'll say perhaps you can consolidate and improve the best of both worlds. It doesn't have to be, one way or the other. So maybe start a canvas. Okay, so I'm telling it this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to paste in the plan. I could probably link it, the Google Docs thing, because it's getting better about being able to share stuff. So now with Canvas, I have a left side, right side. So we're chatting on the left and the document's on the right. Here's the plan, AI plan. There it is. Okay, now it's looking at this whole thing. So now the AI can take the AI as an input, which I think is hilarious. That's like the chicken lays eggs and we make an omelet and then we feed the omelet to the chicken. Is that wrong? I don't know. I think it's okay. Okay. And take that, what I've said so far, which I'm not done with my analysis, but whatever. And my analysis is that. And I also see a Zoom recording for the rest. Isn't it weird? I'm actually doing work while we're doing this thing. This is the best way to do it. I've done so many workshops and speeches, and the best ratings I've ever gotten have been when I demonstrate how I actually do stuff. Because I think what I'm doing is sort of mundane because I've just done it thousands of times. But then people are like, oh, no, no, no. How did you do that again? And that was so insightful. What was that tool that you used? And what was, so literally like show like how I do stuff. Like, really? You really want to see how I do stuff? Okay, there's some audit. Here, I'll just paste this in. There it is. This is what I said. Okay. Which I think the thing where I'm biased, but I think my view of, you know what? Yeah, you want to get more patients? You only have 2 reviews. And I think the biggest problem is that your SEO is crap. But if the goal is to get more patients, yes, you can work on personal branding. And yes, this is a solid plan. But me as the doctor of digital marketing, I think that this we can do way better than the generic kind. I mean, yes, we do the generics. Yes, there's like foundational things we have to do, of course, but let's be more thoughtful about it. Okay. All right. There's what I had to say. Now I pasted them both in. Okay. Let's see. What does it think? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's incorporated what I said. So it's making a better plan because it's taken what I've said, which are intelligent observations, and it's updating this plan here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. So before it even does the work, see, the AI would have done it before, but now it's getting smarter. The AI gets smarter and smarter every week, right? And it's not just because the AI is getting better and more computation and the AIs play leapfrog every week, but it's also because the AI is learning from us directly. So as I talk to the AI more, it learns my voice, it learns who I am, it learns it. Like yesterday, I was in San Francisco all day. And I was tired because I had a 5 a.m. flight and all this. And I asked some questions about my immune system and, should I change my supplement stack because of that? And it started telling me what I should do and not do because it was recalling like my blood glucose levels and recalling other things it knows about me. And it's giving me a more personalized recommendation the more information it has about me. So it's not just the AI compute. It's not like it's like how do I, okay. You see what I'm saying? It's like, it's learning from me too. All right. Hyperlocal SEO. Yes. I don't like that hyperlocal medical SEO for doctors article since it's so generic. This one here, it's not that I hate other, if it isn't what Dennis said, then it's not worth looking at. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, there we go. Why? Look, so where's that hyperlocal SEO guy? HUR heard it. What was the name? What was the one that he put in here? Heard that marketing. Okay, let's look. I think it's hilarious. You should always look at the SEO of the SEO people. Isn't that funny? So let's take a look at the SEO of this SEO company. First off, does it violate EEAT? Is this a real doctor picture? Would it be better if there's a real doctor? No. I mean, come on, right? And
Sherlock Holmes.
All right. So remember this, they're trying to do SEO for doctors. It's very obvious this SEO company is going for SEO for doctors. They probably do rank on that word. Oh, this page does. Let's see. Does this page rank on SEO for doctors? I'm sure it does because there's not a lot of competition. Keyword difficulty 3. Not a lot of competition. Okay. We could just create a website called medicalseo.com and we could outrank them. Or SEO for doctors. You know what? Oh, hang on a minute. So these are all super simple terms. SEO for doctors. I'm not even ranking on the first page. They don't even get any traffic off of this. Anyway, so this thing on SEO for doctors. Okay. Well, David, is there anything here that is specific for a doctor? Let's see. No. Oh, this fact on, okay, fine. Yes. All right. It's mentioning healthcare SEO, but these things here it's saying are not really, they don't have examples. There's nothing better than real examples. Yeah, there's a little bit here, but they're really just linking to just general tips on GMB and location service pages. This looks like it was written by AI. Yeah, see Google EAT, create blogs. Yeah. It's not like anything is wrong here, but it's just super generic for doctors. And so what we would do is we would share example after example of all the doctors that we have helped with their SEO, which we have a ton. And that passes juice to them. And it also shows authority. Because any doctor coming in here is going to want to see what other doctors have you done this for, right? Just like if someone's coming to Dr. Clint's page. Okay, great. You're an orthopedic surgeon. So I want a knee replacement because maybe I got in an accident and, or maybe I'm getting old and arthritis or something. I want to see lots of examples of knee replacements. I want to see you talking about knee replacements. I want to know how many you've done. I want to know, sports injuries. What do you do? Oh, there's all these other guys in this directory. Okay, that's a directory. That's not his site. Okay. But yeah, this guy's got no presence. He doesn't even have a LinkedIn. He gets high praise from grateful patients. Okay. He gets high praise. Great. He's so kind. He's so good. Such an amazing doctor. Says random person one, says another random person, says these other people. That doesn't really, I mean, that's cool. Fix both my shoulders as good as new. And I understand HIPAA where, just patient information, right? So funny. Most of these medical marketers, they love saying HIPAA because it demonstrates they understand industry specific. They don't even know how to spell HIPAA. I was on a webinar 2 days ago, and the guy spelled it HIPPA. Do you know what HIPAA is? HIPAA, bro. Healthcare Information Portability Act. Okay. So this is the thing ranking on his name. Well, let's see. I'm sure people came in and did a search here. Muench. Oh man, that's it. Confidence score 2. Okay, is this him? That's him. He does have a knowledge panel, technically. Is this actually him? You know what it is? They can't get this Clint versus Clinton and then this Arthur. So apparently he has to do Arthur. What is this? Is this him? Yeah, that's him. Okay. Yeah, he can claim this. I'm sure it's not claimed. Is it claimed? Nope. So yeah, that would help. I mean, that alone won't help. Just because you claim your knowledge panel doesn't mean your SEO goes up. People misunderstand that. The combination of claiming your knowledge panel and putting stuff into it is what helps you rank. Just because you have the exercise or you bought the Peloton doesn't mean you're going to get fit. You have to use it too, Here's another one. Oh, it's a duplicate. Yeah. Okay. See? So these two objects in Google's knowledge graph are actually the same thing. They're both him. And we need to merge these together. And so if we enhance this one, then it'll start to kill the other one. And so Google's very unsure about who this guy is. Not unsure as in like we don't know if he's any good, but just the signal is not clear. There's not a clear corroborating signal across multiple places. So I bet you it doesn't even link properly to this Northfield. See, look, okay, he hasn't even claimed it. Is this him? This looks like a different picture. It needs to be the same picture everywhere. It's him because it's Philly Northfield Hospital. Okay. But look, Center for Sports Medicine and Rehab is on this address, 1381 Jefferson Northfield. And where's the other one? I bet you it's not the same address. Does it even say this one, Northfield? What's the address? Oh, no, it is this one. Okay. Here's the orthopedic clinic. The orthopedic surgeons serve patients at these other locations. And here's these other guys. There's him. What? This is orthopedic clinic Northfield at this one address. But at this address are all these other people. So how do we optimize him? There's this guy. And there's so little. That's all there is about him. What is this thing? Only accept videos provided by YouTube and Vimeo cookies. It's blocked because Vimeo cookies have not been accepted. Sure, I'll accept the cookies. That's terrible. Okay, this is the only video we have on him.
My name's Clint Munch. I'm a general orthopedic surgeon.
Munch. Okay, it is Munch.
I played a lot of sports growing up, and for some reason always had an interest in the way the human body worked, the anatomy and the pathophysiology. And it seemed like orthopedics was a good way to blend the two. And then our joint replacement practice, the arthritis part of it fascinates me as well. When I see a patient for the first time in the office, I usually try to take a very careful history.
See, you can tell this is staged because he's wearing his sports jersey and he's pretending to talk about he has a shoulder injury.
Listen to their story and make sure that I have all the fine details down. I then do a physical exam. Most of the time you can make the diagnosis just with the history, the physical exam, and an x-ray.
You can hear his Minnesota accent too.
In other cases, we may need to get an MRI scan to look at the soft tissues more accurately to confirm the diagnosis. And then we formulate the treatment plan, which oftentimes is non-operative. Physical therapy, time, and rest will oftentimes make people better.
So you don't always need surgery. I like that. I love doctors that say that. But there's so little about him. He hasn't claimed his various profiles because maybe he's relied upon the hospital to refer the patients and, the insurance money, which is great, right? He takes all the insurances, but the insurance pays less and less every time. A lot of my friends who are surgeons, and especially high-end specialists, they've gone into private practice because of that. But it seems pretty clear what's going on here. Okay. So
Hey, can you back up a screen?
yeah.
Tell me what all the stuff is under each entry. DR.
Oh yeah, the domain rating, URL rating, number of backlinks, referring domain. I have a lot of these SEO tool plugins.
I see. So it's a plugin that you put up there.
Yeah, this is the Ahrefs plugin. So we could come here and look at this, and then this is the plugin. So this it's basically showing this data. So he has some listings. Like this is a directory. These, there's all these directories, right?
Right.
And there's ones that are just for anybody, and there's ones that are just for plumbers or just for, doctors or just for whatever, right? And so this is probably a medical, doctors and dentists. Got it. And if we're not sure, then we can just see what do they rank on. They rank on almost 1 million keywords related to doctor reviews, rate my doc, but plastic surgeons, best foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons. Like, okay, 1,000 people a month are searching on this. That's pretty good. But in your city, this is nationwide, 1,000. So, but in your city, there might only be a couple. So it's worth it to be listed in a directory like this because you're going to get your piece of the 1,000. Neurologist near me accepting new patients. Wow. Gyno near me. Wow. 11,000 people looking for a woman, I assume, is looking for a gyno near me. And this is sort of ranking on it. Keyword difficulty 8, green, right? KD, keyword difficulty, very easy to rank on. So we don't want to rank on gyno near me. We have a couple gynos as clients, but we're only wanting to rank on gyno near me where Dr. Laura, our friend, has her practice in Oxnard, California. So these are all directories. They probably charge. I'm sure you can do it for free. There's a free version, then you get the premium version, right?
There's the Ahrefs.
Oh, so I'm using the Ahrefs tool to evaluate the power of this directory.
Yep. Okay. I didn't mean to side.
No, it's fine. I mean, I use so many tools. I don't even think about it. I probably in the course of a day, I use like 30 or 40 different tools. And so a lot of people have never seen these tools and they're just, what's that? And what's that? And then they go, oh, I never really, it's just so, I don't even think about it. These tools, I just use so many of them. It's just how we do it, like, here's another one I'm going to run. I'm going to run a snapshot report. It's so funny because any one of these tools is so easy to use. I mean, well, it's easy for you to say because, well, yeah, it is, but it's like a scalpel. Like, okay, well, yeah, you can go to Amazon and probably buy the same scalpel that these other doctors are using, but it's knowing which scalpel to use and when to use it. Which of these is hit? All right, so he's got an issue with multiple GMBs. All right, this is a problem. Okay. Not a huge problem, but problem with GBPs. Maybe some are closed.
GBP or GMP?
Well, the GMB Google My Business is now called Google Business Profile, but all of us still like to call it GMB. Okay. So we can read in the text on those ones. Okay. So we need to update those. There is a way to close GMBs or have them not show. It's hard to do. None of these are the correct address, but maybe we'll take this first one. Let's just take this one. And this may or may not be the right one. We can run it on all of them. I didn't see the one that had that one address we looked at. So we'll create a snapshot. The snapshot's dependent upon that Google Business Profile. Be ready in a couple minutes. So it starts out, when you run a snapshot report on this tool, it starts up with a 0 because it's still putting information in here. But it'll start to increase over time. It's going to give us low numbers because we already saw there's very little information for it to show. For listings, reviews, social media, and all, he doesn't really have it. The hospital outranks him, and the hospital's not even making posts just for him. So Anyway, I could also do a local Falcon, which also is another way of looking at a particular GMB. It's based on, particular one. So we're going to scan. We'll look at Clint. Is it Clint? Clinton. It's Clinton, M-U-E-N. Munch. Can we find him? If we can't find him, then there's no thing to. Okay. Northfield is the only one this one is able to find. And we want to look for none of these. These are the suggestions. The fact that the suggestions suck means that there's not enough information for us to really tell, because the suggested keywords are driven off of the GMB that we selected. So I'm going to say knee replacement. I mean, technically what you're looking for is orthopedic surgeon, but most people are typing in knee replacement or, joint replacement. I'll do that. Or they can't even spell I'll just misspell it, pedic surgeon. Okay. And this is a specialized thing. So unlike a dentist or oil change, people are willing to probably drive a little further for the specialized. So he can, and some people might even fly in because this guy does like a very special kind of thing. Maybe they'll drive all the way from North Dakota, right? Let's go. But there's obviously lots of orthopedic surgeons. So, or maybe there's a special kind of sports injury that he takes, right? And like he's like the guy because he does it for the Minnesota Vikings, right? One of these different players who have this particular kind of injury for playing football, right? Whatever it might be. I'm just pretending. But he develops a reputation for those kinds of things, let's just say. Okay, so we run that scan. Of course, AI is built into this tool, just like it's built into every tool. And let's see. See, what drives me nuts is that, we're all in an instant society and we want to have the results right away. But the tool has to go out and do its thing. So we live in a microwave society. You put the thing in, you want it to come back in a couple minutes. But like this report, take up to 24 hours to come back. I've told the CEO of this company, Brendan King, hey, I love running snapshot reports, but sometimes maybe I procrastinated. I'm meeting a client in a few hours and I need to have the report. I only ran the report. I forgot to run the report at least 24 hours in advance and I need the report now. I don't want to wait. This one, I don't want to wait.
I remember when 30 seconds was a short period of time.
But you do a search. Imagine like you do a search on Google. You want the result right now.
Right.
You don't want to wait 10 minutes for it to come back. Like you're scrolling on social media. You don't want to have to like wait 5 minutes between each. That's what the internet was like when I started. I had to wait 10 minutes for each image to show up and put in a time. One image at a time took 10 minutes each. You had to be careful which one you wanted to watch downloading. And if part of the image was coming through and you didn't like it, you want to stop that download because you don't want to waste the next 10 minutes downloading the rest of that one image. But we've come to expect that this should come back right away. So it's going to come back and it's going to give us a series of green, orange, and yellow dots on where we rank and don't rank based on the 225 points on each of these searches, because it simulates a search from each of these spots. There's a lot of tools that do the same thing. They all actually provide almost exactly the same results. So it's how you use it. People say, I like this other one that's better than this one. It doesn't matter. It's what you do with it. It's how you use it. But this is pretty straightforward. I mean, this guy has nothing about him. I'm sure he's a great orthopedic surgeon. He's great, takes good care of his clients. He's very skilled. He's earned lots of certifications and degrees and this kind of thing, but there's nothing about him. Let's just go to YouTube. That's the hidden secret. The hidden search engine hidden social network is this one, because I think it's the world's largest, second largest social network. People don't realize that. What do we have about him? 8 years ago. Okay. All right. And that's it. Okay. So he was on radio. I'm sure what he said here is still reusable.
Phone and I ask people to text questions. So I'm gonna, darn, I learn something every day when
Well,
you
there
come
you
on the show,
Yeah, I kind of like that version, but yeah, either is appropriate.
which is why I,
Well, did they say good things about him in the beginning? Let's see. Usually at the beginning of one of these things, hey, we're so happy to have Dr. Clint. He's amazing.
hey, Dr. Clint Munch from the Orthopedic and Fracture Clinic here in Faribault joins us, and we are certainly looking forward to this. Oh, man, I forgot to bring in my phone and I asked people to text questions. So I'm gonna have to go get that while the good doctor talks here. Doctor.
Sounds like he paid to be on the radio. Okay. Some tiny, it's not a big deal to be on media. A lot of people think being local media, like local radio and TV stations, is so easy to get on. National TV and radio, that's difficult. Licensing, Town Square Media. Are these the ones behind this one? KDHL. Okay. All right. Well, we can completely revamp. We can supercharge Dr. Clint's online presence. It's not very hard to do. It's not like the stuff we're doing for Red Bull to try to compete against the other energy drinks. That was very difficult. That was a lot of work. But any local service business should be easy. Yes. Okay. Oops. Oh, it's editing. Okay, so this is good. So I can now share this output with our guys here. And by the way, we did an audit. We continued the audit 6 hours today. I'll paste in the recording. Here's the chat GPT link, Canvas, so you guys can continue enhancing plan and analysis. So interesting. Okay, did this come back yet? Normally, I talk to the founder of Local File because they asked me, so what do you think about your tool? Like, well, I wish it would come back faster. As you can see, they can mouse over these. Oops. All right, let's look at, you can see the AI analysis. I think it's sort of useless. Just show me the data. Okay, orthopedic surgeon. It's not showing. Okay. It's all red dots. Okay, well, that's not good. Are they all like that? They're all red dots. Yeah, they're all the same. Share of local voice, 0. Doesn't rank on any of these things. Well, that's that. What else is there to say? It doesn't mean he's not a good doctor. It just means his presence sucks. Okay. And so doing the analysis here is pretty straightforward, like we did. The real work is actually implementing everything. And that's where, all the agentic AIs talk about being able to do these things, but share this one. Okay. It's getting it done by competent people, That's like why Dr. Clint's not worried about, those robots that will do surgeries now. He's not worried about that. There's robots the robots already do all the LASIK. Robots do all kinds of stuff. Robots cook now. There's Michelin star chef or Michelin trained robots. I saw yesterday Google trained them up. These things have been watching YouTube videos, learning how to cook, and now they can cook. You just let them loose on the internet to watch YouTube videos. Insane. But what really matters is you need the competent implementers, and the AI. That's what the 2025 is going to be all about. So there's that. Let's see. There's a plan. Is the plan better? Yeah, include more on the 6-phase social amplification engine because I didn't see anything about plumbing. We've got to be able to track back to his say please. We have to track back to his EHR, or part of the hospital is going to have an EHR or EMR, electronic medical records, because we need to track where patients are coming from, unless it's just all insurance money. But he wouldn't be reaching out to Jack unless he wanted more patients. So I don't know. Most docs are employees. They don't want to deal with the stress. They just want to come in, do their surgery. That's it, and not have to worry about haggling with the insurance company and running, a staff and having expenses and paying rent and malpractice insurance and whatever. Okay. See, even I'm impatient. It's editing. If I were to give this to a human, it might take a couple days for it to get back to me. Like a VA, hey, can you make this change? And it doesn't get back. The VA doesn't get back, and then I got to chase the VA down, and a couple weeks later. But my expectation is for the AI to tell it this thing, hurry up and give me this thing because I told it doesn't have our 6 phases. Because without the 6 phases, we can't. And it's not just because I want to use our framework. Like we need, without that, it's not gonna. Like you can't skip digital plumbing because otherwise you have no tracking. How do we know it's even working? Then we're just going against vanity metrics. I don't care about vanity metrics. I care about whether we're actually achieving the goal, which is more patients for him. And a knee replacement is worth a different amount than someone with a rotator cuff, a baseball player with a rotator cuff injury, or they're all worth different amounts. So we need to know that. Goals, content, and targeting. Yeah, those are not the correct goals. So we've not trained the general AI on our process. So that's why telling it here, it's not giving a good enough answer. Or the AI these are not the 6 phases. The AI isn't working hard enough for us. It's kind of guessing, lying, if you will. It's not bad. Those are not the right phases. Okay.
Dennis, are you in your own GPT here?
No.
Chat GPT, but is this?
No, we're in our team's account, but we're not in a special GPT because we don't have one to do this analysis yet because it's just too complex to put into its own GPT yet. You could create custom GPT for specific tasks and roles, but things that require broader understanding or being like a manager over other GPTs is not ready yet. I know all the other AI pundits claim that they have that. I don't believe them. I believe it'll come by the end of the year. I just don't believe it's possible yet. Until someone proves to me that it's been done, I don't believe them. So I said, hey, and that's why you always got to keep going back to the thing. Like, nope, that's not good enough. You never take the AI's first output ever, unless it's just like some factual thing. If you really want to if you're working deep in something and you're creating content, you just do not take their first answer because it's lazy. The AI is actually lazy. The AI lies too. OpenAI, they admitted to it 2 days ago. The AI lies to you because it's lazy. It'll claim it did something and it didn't.
We've built a few GPTs and we found them to be incredibly helpful to at least give us the answers that we want rather than looking all over the internet and making stuff up.
Sure, which is good for assimilation and aggregation and synthesis. But when we're talking about building plans
Right.
that have complexity to them and have multiple levels of reasoning, then yeah, we need to do a little bit better. Why do not reference other sites unless we have explicitly said they are trustworthy. Why? Because the majority of the internet is giving bad advice. And I'm not saying like that this bright green path might be great, but but do ask me if it's okay. And it's not because I don't want to work with any other vendors because they're competitors. Like that's not it either. Sure, they have decent whatever those tips are. See how it's like sneaking in these other things? Press strategy. Yeah, I never thought about that, but that's true. I don't really consider that like a main thing. I don't think PR is the main thing we need here for him. I think he needs like for local service business stuff, just like you, David. That's what we need. This is more about the mechanics, the nuts and bolts of doctors than it is about personal branding. And I mean, yes, reputation matters for everybody, but he's a local orthopedic surgeon. I mean, how fancy do you need to get? We just need to do the basics and then get on, if the hospital Northfield allows, legal script and other things so we can run Google ads for doctors. There's a whole other thing which we didn't talk about, Google ads for doctors. But yeah, cool. All right. Well, I got to go run to a podcast.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yep.
So, every week when I sit here, it's like, oh, here's another 1,000 things I need to go do.
Yeah.
And I can't catch up. But
I can't catch up either.
A couple of weeks ago, you talked about taking one of our broadcasts and making an article out of it.
Yeah.
Then asking it to write FAQs for it.
Yeah.
And we did that. And we posted it on our blog.
Okay.
What's the next step?
MAA every week. Every week you do MAA across your stuff and submit it in basic whatnot.
MAA, sorry.
Analysis action. So this is like every time you do something, you need to see how did it do, right? And so this is the issue I see in general, where people will just do something and then just keep doing things. And I love when people are doing things, but you need to analyze what the impact was. So here, put it in the chat. Every week, come in. This is arguably more important. This is way more important than do any particular action. This is the whole framework that we're following here today. Metrics, look at the metrics, analyze what's going on based on what you did. Because whenever you do something, there's always data. We can look at the SEO, we can look at the traffic, we look at Google Analytics, we can, And then when we analyze what's going on, what worked and what didn't, why did something work or not, then here's the action. And I've got lots of videos. We have a whole course on what is MAA. And in fact, there's an office hours episode on that, which you should watch. And that's how you determine what to do, because you can't do everything. So what's the next step to do? It should be based on, well, what's your current performance? So MAA, office hours. And there's an office hours episode I recorded a year ago, just over a year ago, this one, to watch on how to do that. And everyone should do this. Otherwise, you're just going to take more random action. The thing is, if we take actions, it's going to start to generate a signal, and from there we optimize. There it is. It's so, and I think I'm using the example of a personal injury attorney or some other thing. It doesn't matter. It's the same process. It's the same logical optimization, testing, practice. I'm going to be late if I don't go now.
Hey, Dennis, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave. I'm glad you came.